So what we're gonna talk about is being mounted. How do you get there? You're wrestling and you're scuffing it with the person, and then you just end up on the bottom. You end up falling. Guy ends up on top of you. Maybe the person does a takedown, takes you down. You end up on the bottom, gets on top of you. However you get there, it doesn't fucking matter. Once you're there, it's what you do that matters, right? So let's say. And the best thing that's what's good for self-defense is also good for jiu-jitsu, for sport jiu-jitsu, right? Because if I just stay here and do this shit, eventually he's gonna go for a choke. He's always gonna isolate. He's gonna do stuff because I'm just here. And a lot of guys just kind of defend this way. They don't do much, or they wait to try and get the arm and do the bump and roll, and then the guy gets the arm out all the time, and you're giving him an arm, right? And he attacks. So a lot of times that's not the answer either. In self-defense, what am I worried about? The guy punching me, right? It's like boom, boom, boom. If I just stay here too, same shit, right? He's just gonna keep punching me and hurting me and hitting me. So, common thing that we can think about right now, like the hands, right? Those are the issues. Either they're gonna choke in sport, or they're gonna punch in street, right? So I need the hands to be busy. They cannot be here. I need them down, and I need my hands to work. So first things first, right? I do have to cover. So I'm covering, and he might throw one or two, but when he goes to throw that knee in the back has to be able to push him, right? I could also bump. The way I learned it, the way they taught it to me was grab the belt and pull the guy. Pull him down. Now here I can cover. But again, eventually, if he's stronger than me, he's going to sit back. I'm going to sit with him, and then my face is here. It's not enough, right? But the idea is right. I need to get the hands away. So if we end up here, first thing is I'm covering, I'm waiting. If I see the punch coming, I'm bumping. My foot goes on my leg. If he tries to sit back now, kind of runs into my leg, I can kind of keep him there for a little while. But I can't stay here. Right? We're already established. If I like the bump and roll, well, that's the moment. That's my moment to go, right? So you see the punch coming, boom. That's the moment to grab. Once you're here, your legs drop. This one's already under this one. Now it's not just bumping, right? It's getting heavy over that leg. So if he tries to pull that leg out, it's not gonna come out. I can roll. In this case, I'm pushing him, and I'm coming into the person's guard. If he closes his guard, I stay. If he doesn't close his guard, I get up immediately. I start trying to step around, move around the legs. It's one out. So, same thing if we're doing jiu-jitsu. He's trying to choke me. I bump him. He has to base. I can secure that arm now. I can go ahead and bump and keep him going. End up in the guard, pass the guard. Good for street, good for sport jiu-jitsu. Now, let's see the other out. And again, same concept. I need the hands to be busy. So if I see anything, I'm always gonna be bumping, right? Now I build a frame. One goes on the hip, one goes on that leg. Once he goes to settle back, I start to push him and I move away, right? My hip escapes a lot of different ways, but this that opens up his legs, keeps his hands busy because he's fighting for his balance. Now as he comes towards me again, my knee approaches, it gets outside. Right, now I worry about this side. This is the hand. I keep moving. All right, I just don't stay there. If I stop moving, that's when the punches start again. I keep moving. Now that I'm here, I secure the arm. I can close my guard. Now I can worry here, or I can go in attack already. I can start going right for my arm bars. I can go already and start an attack. But the concept is the same. Keep the hands busy, and then they can't hit you, can't choke you, right? So let's see that one more time. All right, if he's here, he's going, hands busy. I frame, I find the legs, I keep his hands busy the whole time. Always looking for the hands, always trying to get to my guard. Once we're here, I can go ahead and close my guard, right? Or in that instance, I can go ahead and set up. I can go for attacks. I can do a bunch of stuff. Right? So notice how I'm not just going into a closed guard. I'm always looking to keep it open, to get up, to get away, especially in a street fight. I myself like open guard. I like to set up guard. I like to have control of the sleeves. So I always try and get the most distance as well. But the concept works. The only times it doesn't work is when people do this here. And this is not good in the street. Like if I'm in the street, I don't just want half guard unless I'm gonna get up and wrestle already. But they do the bump, they get the guy here, boom, and they stop right here. They get this half guard and they stop right here. And then boom, you're gonna get wrecked. Right? As soon as I stop here, I'm done. But if I start turning again, I get my distance. And I get his hands busy. If he continues to try to, like, let's say, hold me and hug me, that's when the sweeps and stuff like that become easier and stuff, because now as I roll and roll, we're connected. It's like a bump and roll, right? So the concept works, street or self-defense. You keep the hands busy. Once you get the hands busy, you keep them busy. That means you don't stop moving, you keep moving. And then you'll have less trouble, you'll get less hurt if there's a street fight, and you'll get the most out of it, because now it works for both things. A lot of times I feel like we practice the hip escapes every day, but we don't really understand why we're doing it in those fashions or in that way, right? If I'm flat, I'm not as tall. If I'm on my side, I'm more tall. It makes the person lift, elevate. If I bump, it's to make the hands busy. Now it's to keep them busy. And all of that, we have to kind of understand why when we practice our hip escape, we bump and turn and keep your hips elevated. So that if you want now, when you turn to the other side, they're still elevated, right? And that's the way you should be thinking about your hip escapes when you practice them as well. It's like, why am I doing the hip escape? Why is the hip escape this way? Well, you just saw why. It's to keep the hands busy, so you can be safe and work efficiently and in a safe place, you know? And with your hands in the right place. Now you can use your hands. You don't have to be like this. Always just praying and holding, keeping the guy from choking you, but you're just eventually giving him your arms or giving him other stuff. So practice your hip escapes this way. Think about the concept of why we're doing it. Why is it done this way? And I promise you, you'll stop just cleaning the floor at your jiu-jitsu school, and you'll start trying to bump and really walk out every time you do your hip escapes. And that way your muscle memory is true, you know? The way you practice is the way you're gonna do it when you're fighting. You do it the other way when you're fighting, it's not gonna work. You do it this way, I promise you, you'll get out of mount much more than you ever have with everybody. If you like the upa, do it this way. If you like the hip escape only, do it that way, right?